Well, I walked Dixie, our half pit bull, half lab retriever, which is just part of the morning routine. And I made Chris and myself our little morning shakes and got into my black Mercury Cougar. It was around 7:15. And I remember thinking, wow, it's a beautiful day. And I just headed towards Hartford. That was my normal routine. I do remember thinking of all the things I had to get done at work. I had a long to-do list that day. And I definitely remember thinking I should have left an hour earlier. So I was kind of scolding myself for not leaving a little earlier. And the next thing that I remember is waking up in the hospital.
That day of the year just happened to be the busiest day of my year at work. And I remember it being a beautiful day, drove to work, and had customers already waiting in line when I got there, so I took care of that. And I kind of remember greeting everyone, and one of my coworkers came in and said there was an accident, a really bad accident on Route 10 and Route 44. And I kind of felt something. I'm not sure what it was. And I had a second, so I went over to my desk and I emailed Mark, and I just put in the subject line, "Are you there?"
It was very surreal. Chris was there explaining things to me. I mean, clearly something bad happened. I was on a lot of medication, so it was very, very fuzzy, but I knew something bad happened, so I kept asking what happened. And I think Chris was trying to not upset me, just saying, "You're in an accident, but everything's okay." And I kept fixating on, was anyone killed?
Even though he was conscious, he was out of it. And I told him that he had been in an accident, and he kept asking me the same questions over and over again, and I just didn't feel that it was prudent at that time to tell him that people had been killed.
I broke a total of 9 bones, so 6 broken ribs, 2 broken vertebrae, and broke my left arm. I have a little scarf, and they put a plate in here, and punctured lung.
He was back by the end of September. I'm back going to work right down 44 and right back over the mountain.
It doesn't make sense when you look at the placement of the cars, because I was right up in front, and I was really like in that almost the worst place to possibly be. Maureen Edlin was directly to my left when she died. Barbara Bongiovanni was 2 cars behind. She was killed. Chip Stotler was behind and to my right, and he was killed. Frank Wan ultimately died. The truck driver died. This is a story that needs to be told, especially when I started learning about people like Chip and Maureen Edlin and Barbara Bongiovanni, and they were just such great people. And then the rescuers who did such a phenomenal job. I just thought, wow, this is just sleepy little Avon, and all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose, and there's so many incredible stories. The nature of the crash, the way the truck hit the cars and the bus and slid along. As a result of that, there were 8 life and death situations unfolding simultaneously. So you have the rescuers descending on the scene. They don't even know where to go. All they see is chaos. So it's just this phenomenal story, and I thought, my God, someone's got to really write this story. And as I got to know about the people, I thought, these people are heroes in a lot of ways, and they deserve a lot of credit, and people need to know what really happened that day. One big part of my story that I like talking about is Kyle Caruso. Kyle was 21 years old the day of the crash. He was the assistant maintenance manager at Avon Old Farms Hotel. He just happened to go out into the parking lot. He thought he left his windows down in his car. He wanted to roll them up. He sees this big plume of smoke, and he came running towards the crash scene. First thing he did was go to my car. At that point, the bus was still in gear, lurching forward, and it was banging into Chip Stotler's car, which was banging into my car. So here's Kyle Caruso, this 21-year-old kid, just runs right into that scene. The tires are spinning and smoldering. There's fire just beyond the bus where the truck had already, exploded. And Kyle Caruso is there digging with his bare hands through all the gravel. I was buried up to my chest with gravel, and he was looking for the seatbelt release button. This is just a kid, a total stranger who was there to help me, and I just was so grateful to him. Todd Myers, was an off-duty cop. He was on the way to work at the police station in West Hartford. Was coming up behind the crash. He's trying to get Ellen out. He can't get to her seatbelt release button. The car is mangled. He can't get to it. She's stuck. Now the car is on fire. Now he's worried, and he's within a few feet of this conflagration, and he said something else exploded on the truck, and he felt a wave of heat coming towards him. Meanwhile, Elena is in this daze. She said, I don't know why, but when I saw white, which happened to be Todd's white t-shirt, I thought of angels. I said, why are there angels in my car? And at that moment, Todd realized, I think, that he had the knife in his pocket. Dr. Kurtzman had arrived at that point. He flipped the knife to Dr. Kurtzman. Dr. Kurtzman cut the seatbelt. Todd, one last time, the car's on fire now. He had already burned his arm. He already had broken glass in his hands. Reached in and pulled her out and carried her over to the lawn in Nassau's there. Elena's vision of angels is symbolic of the whole rescue. These people were angels. And I think in that same spirit where people really gave of themselves that day, I thought with the book that this is going to be an opportunity to pay it forward in a sense. The truck, in addition to being so poorly maintained, was uninsured. So the people who lost loved ones also, in addition to going through the incredible devastation of losing a loved one, they're also dealing with some severe financial problems as well. Maybe the book will sell some copies, we can make some money from that, and then that will go to the families.
I'm so proud of my husband. I am proud that he has written the book, that he's seen this project through. The book is brilliant. He's a great writer. He's giving all the money away, which I don't think, Mark being the person that he is, I don't think he would have it any other way. I hope and I pray that we can raise a lot of money for the victims of the crash. I think we're here to do good work. And if we can help the victims and their families, those 5 little Stotler girls and the Wan family and anyone else who needs it, we're here to do it.
People are basically very good. When you think what happened that day, there was one bad guy who set in motion this very tragic chain of events. But 300 people descended on that scene. 300 people didn't necessarily have to be there, and they were just there to help their fellow man. And when you read the stories about what these people did, how they put themselves in harm's way, and just amazing stories of courage and kindness, I was just absolutely blown away by that. And I thought, that's a huge part of this story, the incredible response. It restores your faith in humanity when you read about so many people doing the right thing that day.